Hi guys, this video is about the 10 things you need to know about building your online business. My name is Fernando and I am an online tea entrepreneur, and this is Alec Burns, an IT web professional who builds
Those
professional
websites or
websites.
businesses, yes.
All right, so the 10 things that you need to learn. Business plan number 1. How important is having a business plan when building an online business?
I mean, it's only important if you want to succeed, right? Because if you don't have a plan for where you're going and how you're going to use your resources to get there, then you won't know if you're winning or losing, and you probably won't succeed.
Yeah, you don't know what your budget is. You don't
Right.
know timeline. You have nothing to scale or to go back to and say, yeah, I reached my goal.
Right. You might make changes to the plan as you go along. That's pretty much to be expected. As you learn from what you do, you're going to learn and then you're going to make changes. But if you don't have a plan to begin with, then you're just walking blindfolded.
Number 1, plan.
Yep.
Number 2, having a brand. Brand, it's not just logo, names, and a catchy catchphrase like helping people through the power of tea. Yeah.
But what is that value that you're providing to your specific customer or client, right? In your case, customer. What are you giving that customer that's more than just a cup or a bag of tea? And then how are you going to use a logo and colors and all of that other stuff to convey that brand promise?
Yeah, the brand. This is specifically for building an online tea business, but you could do it for virtually any business.
Yeah, but on a website that matters so much, right? Because if you go to a website as a consumer, you go to a website and you need to immediately trust it. You need to immediately feel like it's something special or different, or else it'll just get lost in your head amongst all of the other websites out there, right?
What happens if you don't have a brand?
If you don't have a brand, well, I think if you sell, it's because you got lucky, and you're not going to be able to continue to sell because nobody's going to remember who you are or where they found you, you know?
I love Zens. I hear people
Perfect.
Zen's tea. So, point number 3, the right website platform. You got GoDaddy. You have.
Weebly, Squarespace, WordPress, Shopify, BigCommerce, yeah. Uh, there are lots of different options, right? It normally boils down to, are you going to build it and own it on your own servers and have freedom? That might take you a little bit longer to get started, though, and that's normally going to be WordPress for most people. It's a self-hosted platform, which just means that you own what you build, versus Shopify is the big name. There are a few others now, but Shopify is the big name in terms of the other category, and it's easy to get started with Shopify. I know everybody wants to. It can be great for businesses that are starting out, but you're limited in what you can do. To avoid those limits, sometimes you have to spend a lot of money. There's going to be ongoing transactional costs, which are going to be higher per dollar that you sell. So obviously I have a little bias here toward WordPress, but there's a solution that's right for everybody. Just depends on where you're starting from.
I have multiple WordPress websites, and I have a Shopify website. The only reason why I have the
Perfect,
Shopify website is because my WordPress website, I ran too much traffic to it. I couldn't keep up, and Shopify was the right one for it.
Once you find something that works, it can be a real hassle to switch over. So
Yeah.
starting on the right foot is important, right?
Yeah. Getting the correct website platform, that is number 3. Number 1 is having a business plan.
Plan.
Number 2 is having the brand.
Yep.
Number 3 is having the right website platform. And number 4, outsourcing to professionals.
Feels somewhat self-serving, but honestly, I think that's something that everybody who's been in business and succeeded knows, is that you succeed based on who you know, right?
Online businesses are a vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't work on my car. I don't even like changing out the air filters on my car.
Right.
But I outsource it to mechanics, and I know people who are going to do a better job changing a light bulb on my website now.
Right.
You want to find someone who's practical. It's that in of itself. We have a whole video on how to screen the right type of professionals. It could be financial professionals. It could be HR management, banking, credit. I'm thinking about business fundraising.
Yeah.
That's a big one. When it comes to working on your online business, the best way to grow and scale is to outsource to professionals who do it. I've done it to selling to other countries. Those virtual assistants are great, but you often get what you pay for. So, yeah. Number 5 is lead generation.
Right. That's the question everybody has, right? Is once I've set up the system, how do I get people into the funnel?
How do you drive traffic to your website?
Right. The easiest sources of leads are going to be people that you already know, friends, family, people that will be reached by the organic post you just put out to your own Instagram and Facebook. But when that's not enough, when you're looking to drive more traffic, then that's when everybody's going to step into either SEO, which is optimizing their website to make it more easy to find, paid organic, so paying professionals to just put out social media posts, or digital advertising. And digital advertising is actually the cheapest way.
It is. Yeah, it's
Which people don't expect that, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to pay an advertiser, but
by far
Yeah.
the biggest companies buy leads,
yeah.
and they do so through online advertising.
Yeah.
Number 6 is funnels and capturing these leads. So you have the traffic. Now you have a call to action button. That might be going to zensteahouse.com and clicking the submission form for a free book, or a step-by-step process to how to build your online business. You can look it up on zensteah.com. That would be a funnel. And then once you get through that funnel, now you get sent through the email system. You might get a phone call. You might get the product or service delivered. It really doesn't matter. It's what's specific to your online business. And depending on what product or service you're offering and the price range, that's going to affect what kind of funnel you build out.
Yeah. Because the point of the funnel is to help the people that you want to connect with get connected with you, right? You don't want just anybody to go through the funnel, but you want your target customer to find value, right? So you want to give them some value up front. You want to show who you are. You want to give an easy set of offerings. Like you do a lot with email remarketing and traditional marketing too. So if somebody gets into the funnel, they get on an email list. It seems old school, but it's one of the most effective ways of marketing.
You go to zensteah.com and sign up for the email list. You will be put on a 42-week email list. And it's like one every 2-3 days. I think it's for the first like 2 weeks. And then after that, it's like once a week.
Yeah.
But it lasts for 42 weeks.
That's a perfect example, because you don't want to annoy people, but you want to keep communicating with them and providing real value, both service offerings and other kinds of information that's helpful to that customer, whoever it is.
Yeah, that's essentially the ecosystem that your potential customers go through. That's how they recognize your brand. They understand what you sell, why you sell it. They trust you. That's how you get a cold lead to a person who never knew anything about you to now, they're ready to make a transaction.
That takes time, right? It takes time, takes a lot of interaction points.
That's now step number 7 is fulfillment of your orders. That's, again, we're selling tea, but you could sell digital books. I have a digital book, that Holistic Business Handbook that I wrote back in 2016. It's about the holistic healthcare industry. Easy to fulfill. Quick download. It's there. $5.99. But shipping tea can also be very difficult.
Yeah.
I had a pounded cinnamon explode on me.
Really?
Today, yeah. It exploded. And,
oh my.
You can't just ship products. I used to have glass containers. When you're building an online business, people, especially agencies, all they care about the leads, the transaction, money in the bank. But you got to fulfill the orders, and you got to do so in a reasonable amount of time. If you don't get step number 7, all the other first 6 steps mean absolutely nothing. Yeah. If you can't deliver on the goods, people will stop doing business with you.
Absolutely.
And you actually won't be able to even advertise, because once the ads, Google, YouTube, all these other companies that you use to buy leads, if they know that you make money and you don't fulfill those orders, they'll cancel your account. So step number 8. Step number 8, you already fulfilled your order. The customers already know you. They went through your ecosystem. They trust you. Now it's time for follow-up. This is when you create content. You provide some sort of level of entertainment or knowledge. I mean, we're doing this specifically to the people who are interested in starting their own tea business. You follow up with them, and you essentially join the conversation that they're having, or inviting them into the conversation that they want to listen into. That is really important when building an online business.
Yeah. Well, the easiest customer to get is a customer that you've had before, right? People, especially buying a consumable like tea, right? They're going to hopefully keep buying, and then ultimately refer you more business. So making sure that you're giving them everything that you can to provide value to them without being annoying, right? But just being helpful. That's huge. Via email, via social media, via content like this.
It's public relations.
Yeah. In a sense, yeah.
It's a type of public relations.
Sure.
Now, once you have the public relations, now you're building credibility. You're kind of building your platform. You get a nice mic like this, and you look like you're professional. No, it's often, I feel like there's so much fakeness when it comes to online business.
Yeah. That's a real danger because you have, well, it's a danger for two reasons, right? The first is that there's a lot of scams out there. Everybody's been scammed at some point. So there's a lack of trust, but then also it takes more effort to be a real person on the internet.
To build the credibility can't be done overnight. It takes several years, a lot of hard work, and often paying the bill when someone else messes up. I can't tell you how many times I've had to ship tea because the customer says they received it, and then they said they didn't receive it, and then they received the wrong one, and then they realized that, I thought you were another tea company, or whatever. That's how you build that credibility, by essentially being the best and providing the best service. Disclaimer, you can't do it with everyone. Don't even try.
Right, but the longer you can show that you have a history of being who you say you are and doing what you say you're going to do, right? It's going to build your credibility on a website. Put a picture of your face. If you're selling as a person, if you're selling as a business, if you can have some real photos, that goes a long way. Too many stock photos. We can all tune out stock photos, right? When we see them, we know what we're looking at.
I just tune out. Essentially, look past through everyone who has a filter. Like, no, I know you don't really look like that.
Yeah.
But essentially, people do the same thing with their business, and it actually discredits them.
Right.
So that's step number 9 is building credibility. 10th, which is what I think everyone starts off with, they focus on expansion before they even write their step 1 business plan. They expand before they have a name, before they have they don't even know how to fulfill it, but they're just expanding and they're hungry. I like that, but that's really the 10th step in building an online tea business is expansion. How does an online tea business or online businesses expand?
Well, that's one of the fun things to talk about, right? Like you said, people approach it before they should, but it's always worth thinking about what's the long game. And with the internet, sky's the limit, right? If you can find a way to connect with a target audience, then your possibilities are only limited by the size of that target audience, right? But the question is always going to be, how are you acquiring those leads? How are you growing that customer base? And so really the question about expansion, if all your systems are strong, right? If you're able to fulfill all your orders, the question of expansion is really just a question of how effective you can make your advertising and your marketing. So
those are the 10 steps. I'm going to repeat them right now. Number 1, business plan. Number 2, having a brand. Number 3, the correct website and platform. You don't want your website to all of a sudden get shut down. Number 4 is outsourcing to professionals. Alec and I, we're professionals. We're leaders in our field. We know what we're good at. You think you could do a better job? All power to you. I'm just saying, if you want to scale and grow, don't try to be a mechanic on all your cars. Websites are an online business. Number 5 is lead generation. Tons of leads. There's too many leads out there. You have to get the right lead, which leads to number 6 is you have to have a funnel system. Funnel system helps filter people out. You can get 100,000 emails, but that doesn't mean that any of them are going to buy from your business. Number 7 is fulfillment of orders, essentially delivering the goods. A lot of people spend the least amount of time, especially the drop shippers, they spend the least amount of time actually caring about fulfilling their orders. That's number 7. Number 8 is follow-up and public relations. That is essentially having a good face. You're not just talking to them. You're not just saying an email to them because you want to make a sale. You're just saying, hey, hope you like the tea. By the way, check out this new video. It's on YouTube about how to build a tea business in 10 steps. That would be the follow-up. Number 9 is building credibility. Takes time. You can do what a lot of people like to do is just jump on someone else's bandwagon. It's easy to do it. Team up like Alec and myself. Alec's an IT web developer. I specialize in tea businesses, so we kind of combine forces that way, and we're establishing credibility because this is what we do for a living. And finally, number 10 is expansion. These are the 10 steps. If you want to follow them, go through step by step. Do not get ahead of yourself. One step at a time. If you need help to do so, comment below saying you want the help, or better yet, just go to the website www.zensteahouse.com. Alec Burns is the guy I work with on all of my websites. I have for several years, and he is a professional who I trust. So hope you like this video. If you want more information like this, give it a thumbs up and give it a comment below.